I don't think about how to make a macchiato, a cortado, a latte, a mocha, cappuccino. I don't think about the process of making it. It's ingrained into me. Even when I go to other coffee shops that aren't Costa, I'm always like, yeah, they're making it like that, like that.
So, a couple of questions. Number one, do you enjoy making drinks? It doesn't have to be work related, but just in general, do you enjoy making beverages like that?
Oh, I adore it. Again, I'm a huge coffee drinker. I have like two, three a day when I'm on shift. If I'm not working, I have like one in the morning, and I love the taste of it. And I think it's really cool that I'm basically just a legal high store. And when you think about it, caffeine's just a drug, so it's just a legal high.
Do you enjoy the complex process of putting the drinks together,
Yeah,
quantities of.
I fucking love it. Like getting like when the I know it sounds contradictory, but not always the drinks turn out how they're meant to be, like brand standard, because of many extenuating circumstances. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things can affect how the coffee comes out, not even just personal skill. But when, especially like a flat white, because that's the one you do patterns on. Like when you get that pattern, oh my God, it's like I can't help but smile and be like, oh fuck yeah. And I can't wait to give it to the customer. And sometimes they're like, oh, that's really nice. And I'm like, yeah, fucking is. Because again, with the flat white, to be able to make a pattern with milk, you have to steam the milk in a very, very particular way. You don't just put the steam wand in and steam it. You have to get a chirping sound and a rotation of the milk to be able to give it this really creamy texture that allows it to kind of be manipulated in a way to create patterns. And just when you've like smashed the milk and it looks perfect, and you just know that as soon as I pour it, it's gonna work. Oh my God, it's so good. And in the morning, like we have to do grind and dose. So we have to make sure we are getting um 35 grams of coffee from the machine with every pull of the coffee, and that it's extracting 30 milligrams of coffee when it's processed, when the water's ran through it. We have to do all that in the morning because again, you have to change grind and dose every day because it changes throughout the day and humidity and the temperature of the room affects it. So you have to do all these like gears on the coffee machine to change how thick the coffee is being ground or how thin it's being ground. When it gets 35 grams to and then it yields 30 milliliters of coffee, of espresso. Oh, I feel like a mad scientist. I feel like Einstein, who's just like done some science to make this thing happen. And you always have that first coffee and it tastes
Just full on Breaking Bradley.
perfect. Perfect, Dan. Yes, Breaking Bradley is that very moment. I'm such a drug lord where I'm like, yeah, that's the perfect amount. Yeah, it's gonna taste so good today.
Okay, so like the follow-up kind of thing I had then was, does your love of creating beverages extend to food also? Are you much of a chef?
No, I love to cook my food, and but I have mad anxiety about cooking for other people. Like cooking for Kayla, she's difficult as it is for me as like a meat eater, and she's not. So making those, and she's more healthy than I am. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just slapping shit together, and she's like, "You're using too much salt, this, that, and the other."
I think that I get something of like satisfaction out of making meals for people. Like I'm the kind of person that will like be making lunch for me and someone else. I'll make the other person's first, and then I'll like serve it up to them. And before I go to make mine, I'll just wait to stop how they and see how they react to that first bite.
Oh yeah, no, that is a really satisfying thing. Is that kind of seeing them like, oh damn, this is really good. But I always have like mad anxiety about them being like, it's all right. It's like, oh, what?
I mean, like, I'm not much of a chef myself. I don't mainly go to the effort of making complex things, but when I do dabble, like I the other year I made sort of like a chicken Caesar salad sort of thing. I don't think it was quite like how you describe that, but greens, chicken, bacon, like salad dressing sort of thing. So maybe Caesar salad isn't too far off, but that was quite complex for me. That came out really well. There was a pasta bake thing that I did, which came out really well. So when I go for it and have the resources, it's not too bad of a thing, like I find some enjoyment out of it to an extent.
Yeah.
I just wondered if you two do more of that than, well, obviously I think you probably would do more of that than I would.
I try, like, so of course I cook all my meals. Like I don't really let my mum and dad cook for me just because the way I eat has changed over the years, you know what I mean? Like I like to try and cook from raw. Like if I'm having meat, I'm not using like I'm trying not to use like freezer meat or ready-made meat. I'll buy like raw chicken and then make it and cook it.
Like I don't really do much cooked stuff. In terms of like cold food, I feel like I do tuna wraps pretty well, but there's only so many ways you can do that. Um, as for like cooked food, like the main one that I always come back to is chili con carne.
Ooh, I love a chili.
Yeah, you'll have to try mine the next time we're in the same
Is
neighborhood.
it really spicy though?
No, actually, it's very mild. Not
Good.
Lawrence mild, but mild.
Okay, I can live with that. Because I don't like spicy food. Even though I love a chili, I'm always like, I'll have a mild chili. But
Yeah,
like,
I don't like spice either.
no, I don't get it. Like, I've never understood spice. It's like, why do I want to not enjoy my meal? Why do I want to fight my food?
Yeah, it's like you get some chili so spicy that you just take a sip and fucking Terry Crews comes bursting out of your wok.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't fun anymore. The proudest thing that I've made, it's not necessarily a solo thing, but when me and Kayla were in Cyprus, we made sushi from raw. So we had the seaweed, we had to make the sushi rice because it's not normal rice, it's sushi rice. And got the fish, cut it up and everything. Like I'd probably say Cyprus was a lot of proud meals for me because they just eat different out there. Like, they have less processed food than we do in England. So like I remember one time uh like her parents were out, Kayla was coming back from work, and they were like, I went through their fridge and I just saw a whole fish, full on fish. Not, of course, it's gutted and it's descaled and everything, but I was like, ooh, that could, I'm gonna get a whole fucking fish and cook it for Kayla. So I cut it open, I put some like garlic and lemon in its like, sorry if it's graphic, in its belly, and then put some spices on the skin and put that in the oven and cooked it for like an hour, and it came out fucking incredible.
Mhm.
That was a really nice one. But like solo, I tend to think I do like Asian food pretty well. I love Asian food. Like I make a sick ramen sometimes, like crack an egg and have it sit on top kind of thing. Yeah.
I basically tried to make a Krabby Patty. So, like,
Oh, I remember you shown us pictures.
I did, yeah. Like, Food Theory did an experiment to see what the best tasting burger combination is, and they determined ultimately it was the Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
And so I decided, okay, I want to try and make it and put it to the test and see if it works. So like I fried burgers for the first proper time rather than oven bake them, and
Yeah.
like, oh man, it was the best burger that I had tasted in a very, very, very long time.
You know, it was kind of a thing for me when I was in Norwich last time, where I would when I have all the ideal ingredients, a burger combination that I would make is I'd get some lamb burgers from Iceland and some blue cheese, like some creamy blue cheese from Sainsbury's, and chop up some red onion, some lettuce, mushrooms, mayonnaise, bit of ketchup, and lazy garlic, which is basically just chopped garlic in vinegar in a jar. Throw that all into a burger with maybe a bit like sandwich the burger between a bit of the blue cheese and some cheddar or something, and it would come out absolutely amazing.
What is a food dish, or maybe somewhere that you would like to eat that you haven't before?
I feel like I'm well traveled with food, you know what I mean? Like I've had Korean barbecue, I've Japanese, American.
Could even just be a simple British dish that you've not had before.
Not had.
Yeah.
Do you have an answer?
I think for me, maybe beef Wellington. I don't recall ever having had beef Wellington
I don't
before.
think I've had beef Wellington. I'm interested to try that.
I was watching a few videos earlier today of various chefs all making the same things, but it's just out of morbid curiosity, seeing what differences there were in the way that they did them. So, like, I ended up looking at Gordon Ramsay doing a beef Wellington, Jamie Oliver doing a beef Wellington. There's a YouTuber that I'm subscribed to. His name's Joshua something. It's going to come to me in a minute. But I looked at him doing a beef Wellington as well, and it was interesting that on Ramsay's video, he said that for beef Wellington, if he was like on like death row or something, beef Wellington would be on like his last meal wish list. So Joshua Weissman.
Wait, he's like Gordon Ramsay's famous for his beef Wellington. That's like his dish. Like all his restaurants do it. Apparently he's like the god of beef Wellington. So I'm not surprised. I think one food I'd like to try is like a whole lobster. Like just the lobster, put it right in front of me, and I just like crack it open and eat the meat flesh. I'd try that. I'd be interested to try that.
You know, this might seem a bit typical, but I'd love to try like American, like proper American fried chicken. Or like a New York pizza.
Yeah, New York pizza always looks so good.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I don't really think of, despite my appearance, I don't really think of food all that much when it comes to most exotic things. But like, you know, yeah, laugh it up. But
no, it's the way you word it. I didn't laugh at the situation. It was good that you were like, despite my appearance, I don't think about food. I like that. That was good.
Next food, I'm just on the food.
Yeah, like I was gonna ask.
I've just been like I sometimes find myself watching food videos on YouTube, and like recently I was watching a series from Gordon Ramsay where he went to a prison and he tried to make a bad boys bakery for using the prisoners as, you know, for chefs, just to see if you could make a self-sufficient business from inside a prison. It's a 4-part series that he did like 10 years ago, and I don't know, stumbled across it and found it quite interesting. So food is on my mind sometimes when I've got nothing else going on. I do occasionally find myself just thinking about it, even though I'm not much of a foodie, really. Just spontaneously, sometimes it happens. So the next, I suppose, interesting question to pick your brains is what is the strangest slash biggest slash most memorable food experience that you've partaken in? I think for me, I don't remember the courses, but it was the last time I was in France and it was to celebrate New Year and we had like a 12-course meal.
Ooh.
And a lot of it was fish based, if I remember correctly. I can't remember the specifics of what was in each dish. I just remember that there was about like 12 or something. And they were all like very small servings for each, because obviously you're not going to want heaps and heaps for each,
No.
course. But I think that would be my answer for that.
I have two answers because you kind of like threw out different like things for food. Most like memorable. A lot of this is Cyprus because Cyprus is really good for food. When I first went out to Cyprus, we went out to a fish tavern. Right next to it was a little village that they have a village house at. And we went to this fish tavern. First time I was there. And not, I like fish food, but I wasn't as versed as I am now. Back then it was like, oh, I love a cod and chips. You know what I mean? And I considered that fish food. But there, everything was fresh caught. And it was the same as you. It was like platters of like food just being thrown at you. Some of it whole, like little fish that big with the head still on and everything. And you just eat it like that. And that was such an experience for me because I was like, I loved it. I had so much fun with it and eating all this different fish food, and it tasted so fresh. Like Kayla said that, for my belated birthday, when I go out there, we'll go to a fish tavern. I was like, yes, let's go. Another one, and this is like a disgusting one, was the first time I had snails. I had them in Cyprus. Again, it's a little delicacy they have there. And my fucking God, are snails gross. They are not appetizing at all. If someone asks me, because I've had people like, what do snails taste like? Believe it or not, it's not squidgy like goo. It's bitty. It's sand almost. Like it's so.
I mean, snails are largely comprised of like water.
I know, but I think because they're like cooked, that probably like maybe steams away, and you're just left with
The bits in between, yeah.
yeah. And my God, I remember having it and just like looking at Kayla and being like, "This is not me. This is fucking gross." I actually have another one that was disgusting. Again in Cyprus, I was at a family meal. Kayla wasn't there; she had work, so I went to this family meal, and they gave me it's called zaladina, and it's basically pig's feet that have been like ground up and put in like a jelly, like a jelly, and it's like vinegared and all this stuff. When I had that, I wanted to literally throw up. It was the most vile thing that I had ever eaten. And that actually probably does go up as the most vile thing I've ever eaten in my life is saladina. It was vile. But yeah.
But backtracking a moment, it's interesting that you say that Cyprus a delicacy for various snails, because I'd have thought that would be France, escargot and all of that.
Like, when I say it's a delicacy, like if you Google Cyprus food, you're not going to see snails. But Cyprus is very season driven when it comes to food. Like, there'll be seasons for this, seasons for that, throughout the year that you'll only be able to get this food at this particular time in the year, then it's gone. Snails is the same thing, and it's just when the season for snails is, and they'll go catch them and then cook them up. Like, I remember one time, Michaela's dad is he's Bear Grylls. Like, he is such an earth man. Like, he doesn't go to malls, he doesn't do anything like that. He lives off the earth, not quite literally, but he grows a load of veg. He will go hunting for birds and bring them home for food, and does a load of shit like that. And he will go and catch snails, as much of a sport that might be. And he came back with basically this like red bucket, like, you know, you'd use to mop the floor, just fucking full of snails. And again, because it was that season for it. But you know, it's a delicacy there, but it's nowhere near part of like their diet.
The cultural identity.
Yeah, cultural identity. That's a good way to like word it. It's not part of their cultural identity.
Dan, do you have a memorable food experience or thing that you've had?
Honestly, I just have like a few kind of typical ones, like a few places that I really used to enjoy. Like the Oriental Palace in Boston used to be a favorite place of mine. And it was like a lot of other kind of Chinese buffet places, but just the atmosphere and furniture and the selection of stuff, all that. It was just nice. I really do like Chinese buffet restaurants. Though something that I have well, not always, but wanted to have recently, just because I acknowledged that I do a lot of chili and I use wraps all the time and all that, is I want to see what actual like Mexican food is like. I want to go to like a Mexican joint.
Yeah, Mexican food. Like, you know, of course we have fast food Mexican in town. We have like Taco Bell in Leicester. But you know, that's kind of like Americanized, chainized, if that's a word, Mexican food. But we do have a Mexican restaurant in town called Bodega.
Yeah,
Me and Kayla have been there. Mexican food is good. Mexican food is nice.
Yeah, I mean, either way, like I don't think I've ever had tacos or anything like that.
Tacos are annoying. It's hard and it's cool. It's fun. That's the thing about Mexican food. It's fun. But like eating a taco and it just completely crumbles in your hand is the most frustrating thing ever. Kind of going back to what it came up earlier, if you did have a death row food, what would it be?
It's like we've been asked before. If you're stuck on a desert island, what would be the food?
I know it's a hard question. It's like asking what your favorite film is, even though that's probably a bit easier, but
It is, and you know, it's tricky because I'm not very adventurous of the type of stuff that I eat. It's very much the same sort of thing. It's very tough. Like I am partial to a very like medium rare steak.
oh man.
I would love like the perfect piece of steak
Yeah.
with little grizzle on it, little fat. You know, very tender, very succulent. I think medium rare is the cook that I go for. Like it used to be medium. Yeah, I didn't used to like any pink on it, but I think over time I like a bit of pink on my steak. I like it to be nice and juicy and chewy, a bit bloody.
Yeah.
Also. Just pop that flavour, seasoned with a very nice coating of pepper, right? Mixed in with all that juice. Maybe like a nice thin spread of barbecue sauce on it as well, just to help.
Oh, you're not doing a peppercorn sauce?
No, I don't think I would do a peppercorn sauce. I think it'd be a very, you know, nice even spread, a thin spread of barbecue to help those juices and that pepper. And I think, you know, I would quite like a nice steak meal, I think.
I could back that. Love a steak. My dad makes a banging steak. Sometimes I I think maybe like once a month, if not, sometimes not even that. You'd be like, we're gonna do a steak this week, and I'm like, fuck yes.
If I had like a death row meal, like, no, it depends what mood I'm in.
I
Like,
know.
if it was something cold, I think I might go for a tuna pasta salad.
Simple.
Yeah, with like spring onion in it or something.
Mm.
And as for like something hot, I'd well, burger, chips, and onion rings.
Wow, that is so simple. But you know what? It's your fucking last meal. Who cares?
Yeah.
That is nice.
Or good fish and chips. I don't know. I don't really pick favorites.
Fish
I
chips is
mean,
good.
I mean, if you gave me tuna wraps for my last meal, I'd
You'd be
be
happy.
yeah, I'd be happy. Just give me tuna wraps, some crisps, tip for God's sake, and a fucking bar of Cadbury's on the side.
Talk Bradley through what goes into your tuna wraps because they're kind of like mythological at this point, I feel.
Have you tried them?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, are they actually good?
Well, remember how at uni I basically lived off tuna wraps for my lunches, didn't I?
Yeah.
But mine were like the discount version. Dan was the person to initiate it. He was my guru
Oh my
when it came
God,
to it.
Dan!
And he makes them far better than I ever will because I just do a rush job on them because I don't have time. But Dan is the maestro when it comes to tuna wraps.
Okay, come on, Dan. Reveal it to me.
Okay, so basically what I do is I get 2 cans of tuna with sunflower oil, drain them out, and put them into a bowl. A small can of sweet corn, drain it, put that in the bowl. A few big globs of Hellman's mayonnaise, mix it together. Sprinkle some black pepper in there. Good, like a say a decent amount, but not like too much.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how I feel, I might cut up a few spring onions and throw them in the mix as well. Then just stuff them into 2 wraps.
But man, you're putting some love into it, and Lawrence is feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, he makes it sound quite simple there, but like with certain type of wrap, I think like herbal kind of wrap.
Oh, I haven't been able to get garlic and herb wraps for years.
No, but like just if this was the best possible version.
Yeah, I mean, if I could get my hands on some garlic and herb wraps, that would be like the cherry on top because the garlic is because I'd say the garlic really rounds it out. I tried compensating by actually putting garlic in the tuna mix, but it's not the same. It's like because like you don't get the thing of having it in a garlic wrap is that you get the garlic flavor strong in the wrap, and then you have the tuna mix having its specific flavor. It doesn't work if you put the garlic in the tuna because then you don't get the specific tuna taste.
You could always like maybe it doesn't work, but you could always try like getting like not cloves of garlic because you're using cloves and then cutting it up.
I've been using lazy garlic, so it's basically chopped
garlic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's diced garlic in a jar, suspended in what I think is vinegar. I'm not sure.
You could do like a garlic granules because you can buy garlic like.
Tried that too. It's too strong, and I think it makes the tuna mix a bit too thick as well. You can really tell when you use something grainy, you can really tell it's in there.
Okay, yeah, and I get that.
I think you've also got to get the right type of mayonnaise as well, because I went a period not long ago of using light mayonnaise. Obviously, tried to be a little bit more healthy with it.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the same flavor to it.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I like if I'm being serious with it, it's Hellman's mayonnaise, or at least like I don't know, Heinz, or just non-light mayonnaise gives it the kick it needs.
The most adventurous I ever was foody with it. And you have your tuna mayonnaise mix, but I would add sweet corn and diced up cucumber as well.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I used to put cucumber in them. Like, back when I had. Okay, for context, back when I during the time where Aldi actually sold the garlic and herb wraps. Like a full tuna wrap, if I was doing like the full shebang, would have sweet corn, diced onion, chopped cucumber, mayonnaise, and pepper in it.
It does sound good, actually. I love a wrap. I love wraps.
I didn't realize they'd become so synonymous with you, Lawrence.
Well, you taught me well, clearly. But then again, you've obviously taught me not well because I just do the discount versions, the sloppy.
You're lazy anyway, though, Lawrence. Come on.
But I just don't have the time to, like if I've got a spare moment, I actually think about wanting to make a wrap. I just can't be asked. I mean, most of the time I don't have all those magnificent ingredients that Dan would usually put in, so mine are always going to be inferior.
I mean, I wouldn't go as you say magnificent ingredients, but it's not really.
No, but yours always taste better than mine, never do.
I think like using sunflower oil tuna makes a big difference.
Perhaps, I don't know. I've never been a fan of sunflower oil tuna. I don't like the sunflower making it all so greasy and all of that. But I won't deny that maybe its flavor is possibly superior. But I've not had enough sunflower tuna to be able to.
Yeah, like the way it gets in your hands kind of put me off a little bit at first. I mean, originally came across it too, but after a while I realized that whenever I used it, it actually like the flavor actually made it better.
I've got a new question that's just popped into my head. What are your favorite fish?
I like. So,
does prawn count?
It's a shellfish, but to be honest, I was gonna go down that loophole as well. I was gonna say, I don't know what category. I forgot the name of the category, but squid, octopus, and that kind of stuff. I love it. Mollusks. Yeah, I love a mollusk, but that's a cheap answer. Fish. Oh man. I like salmon.
I was going to say salmon as well.
I love a salmon. I can eat it raw in like sushi, or even like sometimes I've got into a habit of like when I do meal deals from Tesco now, I don't even do the sandwiches anymore because they've like added to like their box meal things like pastas and rice dishes that you can get. And one of them is like called, it's like a sticky rice, but it has raw salmon strips on top of it.
Salmon teriyaki, was it, by chance?
It might be, yeah.
Because I had that the other week. I wasn't blown away by it.
I like it. What did you not like?
I don't know, because like, I'm so now ingrained with Wagamama's chicken teriyaki.
Oh, well, it's never coming close to that.
Exactly. So for that reason, it didn't quite hit the spot. Like I do like occasionally going to Waterstones of all places to their cafe.
Yeah, I know you do.
And they, despite the cookies, they have some really nice salmon sandwiches. I forget like the type of spread that they use for it, but
would it be like a Philadelphia or something?
Yeah, it could well be, but it's really, really nice.
Pretty basic. My side, it's either tuna when served cold, or like cod or haddock when served hot.
Cod and haddock. Whitefish is big. It's so good.
I'm not difficult to impress.
Yeah, I ever had anything like yellowfin at all?
I think I might have. If I have, then I haven't really remembered it all that well.
Tell you a fish I'm not a fan of is sea bass.
I've not tried sea bass. Why? What's wrong with that?
I'll recommend it because we occasionally have it here. It's just one of the most tasteless fishes
Oh, okay.
for me. It doesn't have much going for it, I don't think.
Hmm.
You have to put a lot of love into it, seasoning and stuff. You just put, bro, if you ever have it again, just get lemon, man. Sprinkle some of that on top. There you
Yeah.
go, done.
There's another trout. I love trout in
Ooh.
like a white sauce kind of mixture. That's gorgeous.
I've never had trout because my mum and dad have just told me horror stories about it.
Like a almost like a white wine sauce. It's gorgeous.
Fucking hell, Lawrence. Look at you over there, bro. You know what? I need to eat more fish.
Mm.
I eat too much. Well, not that it's changing really, but I eat too much land meat. Like I used to have land meat with all my dinners, and it's like I should have a bit more fish. I should. I need to do it. I'm gonna try and get more fish. But fish is just more expensive than meat.
Mm.
Like me and Kayla, because it's the only meat she eats is fish meat. And we would like buy these like salmon fillets with the skin on and everything. And my God, that shit was expensive. Like £7 for like two fillets.
Mm.
It's like fucking hell, mate.
Have you ever, either of you, eaten at a restaurant that like belongs to a very well-known chef?
No,
Like, no?
no. When me and Kayla first moved out to Cyprus, her first job was at Jamie Oliver's restaurant that he
Ah.
has out there. It's called Jamie's Italian. Whether or not he has any real involvement in this kind of brand, I have no idea. But it's named after him. So I guess this could be a loophole. But I have eaten there about 2 or 3 times when Kayla was working there because she would invite us over. It was all right.
So,
It's all right.
many, many, many years ago when I was young and naive and all of that. Um, I have eaten in a Rick Stein restaurant.
Rick, I, I that is actually a very good point. I have eaten at Rick Stein. So we went to I'll let you go in a second. Norfolk, maybe. And we went to this little village or seaside place called Padstow. Where is Padstow? I want to get the actual location right. Padstow, Cornwall. And we were looking for we were looking for somewhere to eat just on the go, and we walked by a Rick Stein fish and chippy.
Mm.
And it was really good, but I don't know if you're going to agree with the sentiment here. Wow, is it expensive?
Well, I mean, of course, it will be, a popular chef with their name on the brand. It's going to be.
Wow. But yeah, go ahead. What you said
Well,
about
I don't really remember much about mine. I just have a static image of being in a Rick Stein restaurant in my head. I don't remember what I ate or anything. I imagine it was probably something fish related
yeah,
because I feel like that's his thing.
it's his thing. Yeah,
Yeah. But no, that's the only experience of a chef entitled place per se. I just, I would quite like to eat, like, if only we had like a Hell's Kitchen here in the UK.
we do. Well,
I
we
know
have.
Ramsay does have stuff in London,
Yeah, he does.
but I don't have the incentive to go to London. But I would like to. I know I'll be bankrupt by the end of it,
Oh yeah.
but
Oh, we
but
will be.
the experience of having like that S tier food, I would quite like it.
Have you seen like the? You remember Salt Bay? A couple
Salt Bay?
years. Salt Bay, the guy who would put salt on stuff, and that was his meme. Is that he would sprinkle the salt like that, and it would come off his.
Yeah, the meme, yeah.
Yeah. So he has a restaurant, and some of the bills at his restaurant I want to see if I can find a fucking photo, are insane. I will never have this money in my life, by the way, Lawrence.
Oh God.
I
It's
will never.
thousands.
You're not even close.
Millions. 37,000
Yeah.
and £23 10 pence.
4K on a service charge.
4 lots of golden baklava, 200.
A Red Bull was 11 quid.
Ugh.
Look, this is actually the full receipt. So this is the full receipt. Look how much he's selling mashed potato for. Bro, look at that. That shit's criminal.
12 quid.
Sauteed broccoli. Broccoli.
Golden tomahawk.
Well, that
850. What's golden tomahawk?
tomahawk's a cut of steak.
Okay. God.
Herb crusted fries, 30 quid. You got 3, 10 quid for some fries.
It's disgusting.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like Dan's face right now. It's just pure disgust. I will never have that money in my life.
It is.
Never.
But you know, like one of like the chef personalities that I remember vaguely back in the day, and also because of a resurgence of memes in a certain well-known YouTube channel, Ainsley Harriott.
Yeah, ready, steady, cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this like I mean, what was his specialty? Was it like barbecue or?
It was like it was like chicken. It was jerk chicken because that was where the meme came from, innit? The
Yeah.
oh yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, boy. Fucking love Ainsley though. Like I don't rate him because I think he, not that he was before my time, but I wasn't in the know back when he was like a big thing. But all I know him for is the meme.
You never watched Ready Steady Cook?
No, not really. That shit just didn't interest me when I was like young, and I didn't really watch much TV.
It didn't me either, but it was with like the Queen is like a cultural thing, or to me, some of the TV programs and BBC One Tea Time were cultural, like Weakest Link or Ready Steady Cook and things like that.
Yeah. Like Weakest Link, yeah, I watched a lot of for some reason. I don't know why.
It had just been on, wouldn't it? You know,
Exactly,
it's been
yeah.
on while you're having tea, and you just absorb it like osmosis.
Legit.
And you've never like eaten in a popular chef's place or had a desire to eat in a particular popular chef's?
Nah, not really. The closest thing I ever did to watching a cooking show was fucking Man vs. Food.
Oh, Man vs. Food was good. This guy would like starve himself for the entire day and try and take on these mad meals.
Yeah, it was mostly eating challenges.
Yeah. But I think like obviously for health reasons he had to stop doing it eventually. I think like the constant like fasting and then gorging himself to then fast again, like in between like shows and episodes, I think probably just killed him off.
Yeah, I mean, like Gordon Ramsay had to stop doing Kitchen Nightmares because of the frequent food poisoning he'd get.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds horrible though. Like, just imagine yourself shitting yourself 9 times out of the week.
I wasn't aware that Kitchen Nightmares was cancelled. I thought it was still going on.
Well, I mean, the YouTube channel's still active, but I read up on the wiki, and apparently Gordon Ramsay stopped doing it because when he went to particularly bad ones, he'd got food poisoning.
What's he doing now in terms of TV? I suppose it'd been MasterChef USA, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's. I don't know. I feel like he's taken a back step recently. I think he's had his major shine in the light, and I think.
Yeah, I mean, my exposure to like Kitchen Nightmares is basically just watching on on the YouTube channel, mostly during
Yeah,
but it was like one of those things that I got into, that I've gotten into during the COVID years, as I've been kind of locked away in my tower, so to speak. Um, yeah, like some people, like just the beta cuck Tiger King,
oh my god.
enjoyer, and the Chad Kitchen Nightmares viewer.
You got any of you guys seen Liver King?
No.
I'll just show you a picture of this fucking barbarian of a human. So it's this guy that just like is like really popular on like, I guess TikTok. Not that I use TikTok. It's just that I use like the YouTube Shorts thing and it pops up on there as well. But basically, this guy is famous for like mega raw diet. Like he will just eat raw meat, like liver. That's what he's known for, Liver King. He will just eat whole liver of animals and like the testicles as well. He would eat everything just raw.
Fucking body like that. He looks like he'd eat it alive. Imagine him chasing down a gazelle.
That's what I had. That's the image I have in my head. Like him just
thumping his arm to its rib cage and ripping out
the liver.
Yes.
Any of you watch MasterChef at all? Like
yeah,
US
I watch MasterChef.
No, I like, you know me, I'm uncultured.
Wow.
Not that I watch it regularly, but I have dabbled from time to time, and for some reason I got into a habit again when I was in Cyprus of watching MasterChef, Greece MasterChef, which is always pretty fucking fun. I like cooking shows. I think they're good. I think they're fun. Not that I learn anything from them. It's just kind of seeing the hecticness of it. It's really entertaining to me. It's like these people, like, you now have an hour to make a dish and they just go nuts. And sometimes you see people that are like, this guy's not going to make a good dish. You can tell he's shit. And then he'll make this mad dish. And you're like, wow, this guy actually pulled through. This guy actually made something good.
You know, this is a bit of a weird one. And I suppose you could count it as a cooking show and a celebrity chef, so to speak. But I would really love to try some of the dishes that Binging with Babish has done.
Oh, Binging with Babish.
Lawrence, have you heard of that?
No.
If you're into cooking, again, I'd say he's a pretty good guy to check out.
Yeah, he basically creates. He basically replicates food from movies and video games. He did a whole Game of Thrones segment.
Yeah, he does.
Is he a YouTuber?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned him earlier, but there is another YouTuber cook that I quite like watching. That's Joshua Weissman. I don't suppose either of you have.
I've never heard of Joshua Weissman.
Isn't he the guy who does all the quote-unquote make-it-yourself thing, but then uses super expensive ingredients?
Well, he's basically, if Bradley made a cooking show, that's
I know what you're saying as well, and it's a bit annoying. I've literally just Googled him now. I'm like, fucking hell.
I watch his stuff and I just imagine Bradley doing the cooking show for us. It'd be amazing.
Oh, we should do a cooking thing.
So we've talked about drink and we've talked about like main course meals. What about baking?
Ooh, dessert or baking?
Like baking cakes and things like that.
I am not versed on this. I am not a baker. I made some cakes in school and they were interesting. Maybe some food poisoning possibility was quite high. Sometimes I just threw it on my walk home away. I was like, this is not edible. I make a banging pancake. My pancakes are god tier. Ask anyone.
Arguably, both of you make god tier pancakes.
He makes a good pancake.
He does make a good pancake.
That's a video. That's a video.
It varies from pan to pan, I think. Like, if you give me a good pan to work with, I can make good pancakes.
Okay. All right, Lawrence, write this down. Future video. Next time we're all together, we need a kitchen. Bake off.
It's happening.
Okay. What kind of pancakes are you making though? Are you making like the French ones that are really thin and like crepes basically?
Yeah, I think it's more like those versions, although like the thickness of my pancakes tends to vary. I basically just mix eggs, milk, and flour together.
Yeah.
Give it the old whisk or power.
Sure.
Whisk.
I respect that.
I don't.
I do, and this is the secret. Add a little bit of baking soda to the mix, and what that does, the baking soda makes it rise, so you get fluffy pancakes. Of course, don't add too much because baking soda is really salty.
Yeah, like my secret to making the best pancakes though is a kind of mix that I'm kind of proud of actually, that I make to go in between layers. Basically, what I do is, when I can, it's a mix of melted butter, brown sugar, and lemon juice that I mix up and pour between and kind of spread thinly between between layers of the pancakes. I call it copper syrup.
Ooh, okay.
Because it's brown.
I didn't need that last bit, Dad. I got the.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be very confused if you were like, actually, it's like red, but I used to like to call it copper. So is this what you're putting on top of your pancake?
Yes, I spread it thinly between layers.
Oh, so you got two pancakes and that's in the middle.
Yeah, like you get a stack of pancakes and you kind of spread it thinly. It's kind of gluing them together almost in a sense.
All right. When it is Shrove Tuesday, whether or not we're participating or not, doesn't matter. Pretend it is. You've got some pancakes in front of you. What is your topping?
Lemon, sugar, and butter are a really nice combo.
It is.
You can't fail.
Well, because I'm too poor to usually have pancakes.
Can't afford a fucking pancake. You can get them ready made for like £1, bro. You cheap bastard.
I gotta keep my room alive. Come on, give me that. I don't know. Like, I don't usually have them a lot to be able to think of what my ideal one would be, but I just like when I think of your basic pancake topping, it'd either be a spread of Nutella or like some chocolate syrup or golden syrup sort of thing. I think would be my go-tos.
Yeah, I'm a basic bitch as well. I just love a Nutella. Put Nutella on it. I'm loving life. Oh man, I love Nutella.
I'd love to do like a cooking video or a baking video.
Oh mate, don't worry. Me and Dan have got the feud.
I went through a phase where I was baking a lot, I must admit. And I'll also tell you this because I actually I straight up made him a birthday cake one year.
Oh yes, you did.
Oh my god!
I think that was last year, actually.
No, it wasn't last year. Surely.
I don't remember. Like we've been calling since then. I don't remember you guys ever talking about a cake.
I feel like it was either last year or the year before.
It must have been the year before.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically what I did was I'd got some Betty, like some of the Betty Crocker boxes.
Oh yeah.
And like just the kind of resources for that, and I made a 3-layer chocolate cake.
Lawrence?
It was a very girthy beast.
Ooh.
Yeah, I covered it. I tried to do the whole kind of like Matilda chocolate cake thing where it was where the whole thing was covered in icing.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
What is your favorite dessert then?
Yeah, again, don't usually have like a formulaic thing, but I have a few favorites though.
Go ahead.
Apple crumble when it's done right, I absolutely love. With
How do you like your apple crumble? Because I feel like I might be the same as you.
I like my apple crumble with with the kind of crumble on being crispy on top and then doughy on the bottom.
Yeah.
With lots of kind of apple chunks in the filling below, served with cold Devon custard.
Cold?
Or warm Devon custard. I
There's the
don't.
right answer.
Yeah, like because I'm not going to eat it if it's like scalding hot. Also, something I had a bit of a resurgence with last year. I like myself a nice Angel Delight, failing everything else, butterscotch flavor.
Mm.
And of course, I'm a simp for like chocolate cake as well. Like, well, most cakes really. Carrot cake, chocolate cake.
Carrot cake is so good.
Like I swear at Banavalan we were fucking spoiled for carrot cakes because those things had so much fucking cream. It was insane. I don't know if you remember, Lawrence.
No, I rarely ate at the canteen. I was always packed lunch. Those were the days, Bradley, where I could go a whole day without having lunch. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I can't do that. I used to be like that as well, actually.
Oh yeah, there's just so many like desserts you can like think of, like Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I mean that's awesome.
Oh yeah, cookie dough.
Oh yeah, cookie dough or well, actually, I think like as far as Ben and Jerry's goes, because I've had a few like knockoff brands that I feel did cookie dough slightly better.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes to Ben and Jerry's, chocolate fudge brownie.
Okay. You're like it. I'm not crazy about. I like chocolate. I don't like chocolate flavored things. If that makes any sense. Like cake, I like it to be a vanilla cake. Ice cream, I want it to be like a vanilla ice cream with maybe chocolate in that. But I don't like chocolate ice cream.
Oh, something that just came to mind. In like any dish, banoffee is amazing. Like a banoffee pie. Like the only frustration I have with things like that is when you have really good stuff, it's often like a really small slice.
Yeah.
I just like if I had like a 3-course death row meal and I got to pick like any dessert I wanted, I would like this is gonna sound stupid, but a slice of banoffee pie, but like the size of a Victoria sponge slice.
Okay. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, or like a banoffee, like a large banoffee cheesecake or something.
Oh. See, I was gonna say that I love cheesecake. Cheesecake is so nice to me.
Yeah.
Or like when I'm feeling like really like bougie, like feeling really posh. If there's any menu and I see tiramisu, I am having it. Lawrence?
Working at the pub was actually very good to open my eyes to other experiences of dessert. So there are like 3 ideal things I think I would go for now. Number 1, which is always going to be number 1, is chocolate fudge cake. You know, warmed up for 20 seconds in the microwave with nice melted like Belgian chocolate dripping all over it with a nice circle spoonful of ice cream on the side. It's just like melt of the mouth, gorgeous. I've since working at the pub, I've developed a penchant for sticky toffee pudding.
That is nice.
Either with custard or with another spoonful of ice cream. Maybe with a drizzle of like golden syrup over it as well.
Yeah.
Is bliss. And also, for number 3, waffle.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Waffle.
Having a waffle with, again, another glob of ice cream on top with a drizzle of some sauce over it, with a few berries also shoved into the cubes of each waffle.
Oh. How do you guys prefer your waffles? Do you prefer them like light and fluffy or crispy and like sweet? Because you get like the ones that you get at restaurants sometimes where like you can taste that it's like the same kind of thing you'd buy from the shops and stick in a toaster in a good way. And then you get the ones that taste a bit more like they might be homemade.
Yeah,
I prefer them.
I don't think I've got a preference personally.
I'd eat both, but I think I'd prefer the kind of like light and fluffy, got the ice cream on top. I want it to be warm, regardless. It's got to be warm.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. There used to be, my God, this was back in the day. When I used to order like pizza, Domino's every weekend, like every Saturday. And they used to have like waffles as a dessert. Their waffles were goated. Greatest of all time.
That was a missed opportunity with the cookie video. That should have included Domino's cookies.
They are good.
They are amazing. But
you know what? This is probably going to go down as probably the worst call we've ever done because now I just want to eat. I just want to eat.
This has been a fantastic conversation.
It has been.
Yeah, it really has been.
I've just had Sunday dinner 5 hours ago. I'm hungry again. I'm 2 seconds away from ordering fucking my final meal. My death row meal.